Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video that I thought I'd share with us because some certain things happening, and you ask yourself, how are two grown-up men? How did they sit down on and with a camera set up and saying some dumb thing like that? Because I don't understand. And Elon Musk actually came out to say that. Nobody is bothered or bothering to unalive Kamala Harris. Why? Because it is pointless. You know, like what would you achieve if you unalive her? And I am asking, why would such comments coming from you? And Tucker Carlson is out there laughing his butts off. Well, I just do not understand it. I just do not get it. And also, you definitely will see one of the reasons why Black people do not ever get a second chance. I have really not seen, but other people are able to get second chance, some third, hundred, thousands of chances. Because tell me how somebody that has how many felonies still got the opportunity to be the hold the most powerful position in the world, if I am not mistaken, right? So how? I really do not just understand it, but the truth is that we already know how the system is, and we also really need to be up and doing. You know what? Let's get into this.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the difference in how white people are treated with their so called second chances in our society after they run afoul of the law, and how black people are treated in similar or even lesser circumstances. Let's get it. And in full disclosure, I will not be talking about this from the outside looking in. I will be talking about it from the inside looking out. You all remember our niece, Shania, here, and how in February of this year, during the course of her day, she came across a homeless man that she began to call Unc and tried to help him with his situation. The first day, Shania spent hours with the man we would later come to find out was named Alonzo Douglas Hebron, and spent money, her money, out of her pocket to help him secure some medical supplies and even a room for the night. Our niece shared this journey with us on her TikTok, and she began to think of an idea how others could help her help him, and she started a GoFundMe page. This sounds familiar? Keep listening. The GoFundMe page that niece set up for Alonzo wound up getting over $403,000 in donations. Donations that neither niece or Unc ever received. Why, you may ask? Because they were held by GoFundMe after it was discovered that Alonzo, Unc, had a criminal past that involved violence. Understand, my video is not about passing judgment on Unc or what he did in his past. It is going to call out the hypocrisy associated with the deconstruction of Unc's past and relevance to giving him a second chance at 63 than it is towards other people's past when they happen to be white and charged with crimes equivalent of or just as serious as those. I have recently had people pull up my criminal past from 1988 to validate their point that I am not a good person in 2024. Damn, that was 36 years ago. Maybe I should have just sent them the dick pic that they asked for 3 years ago. But I digress. And being a black man in this society, you understand that no matter what good you may do now in your life, that someone is always willing to pull up your record from 23 years ago and use that as some kind of indictment of who you are today. While they sit in a house that they won't even clean their bathroom in. But when that shoe is on a white foot that is not doing anything near what the black foot does in that shoe, they are mysteriously quiet. When the shoe is on that white foot, all of a sudden, second chances become the narrative. Regardless if that white foot has engaged in activities that they intentionally put themselves into that no reasonable person would do, or engage in activities that if their harebrained scheme goes awry, it will put others in danger just to save them. That's not the narrative. The narrative is they deserve a second chance. On September the 24th of this year, Marcellus Williams was executed for a crime that even the county prosecutor said he did not commit. A stay of execution to just examine DNA evidence that did not even put Marcellus Williams' DNA on the murder weapon or the victim, to review evidence of a prosecutor in his case striking people from the jury pool simply because they were black, were all denied by a circuit court judge, the Supreme Court of Missouri, and the governor of Missouri, as well as the Supreme Court. But today, the United States Supreme Court, after refusing to hear anything to do with Marcellus Williams' case, is debating the merits of Richard Glossip's case from Oklahoma that was also endorsed by the Attorney General of the state of Oklahoma. And this is in spite of the fact
The Supreme Court usually denies all execution appeals, so why have they agreed to hear this one?
Very unusual. I think it was a few months ago that there was another appeal that they agreed to hear, but typically speaking, this is a court that views execution appeals as tactics to delay.
And for the record, the United States Supreme Court rejected the request to even hear the motion in Marcellus Williams' case. And this man represents the ultimate level of second chances given just because you're white. This man with 34 fresh felony convictions. This man who was impeached not once, but twice while he held the office of President of the United States for 4 years. This man who has more indictments than everybody on the cell block I last served on combined. This man who not only has 26 women speaking out about the abhorrent things he did to them, but has actually been convicted in connection with doing abhorrent things against her will to E. Jean Carroll in a department store dressing room. This man who has spread misinformation and been a racist his entire adult life. This man is not on second chances. He's into the thousands. And just because of his skin color, he continues to fall upward regardless of his crime. Let that sink in.
Which is like nobody's even bothering to try to kill Kamala because it's pointless. What do you achieve? Nothing.
No, it's totally
Just find
right.
another puppet.
Exactly. That's
It's no point in killing.
it's deep and true, though.
Nobody's trying to kill Joe Biden.
It's in,
It would be
bless you.
pointless.
Totally.
Which is like nobody's even bothering to try to kill Kamala because it's pointless.
You know, Tucker Carlson, I think Tucker Carlson, he's a weird individual, but I don't think he was laughing with him. I think he was laughing at him. Because honestly, you're joking about someone's life and making a joke about it. And considering the fact, is he a United States citizen? No. He's from South Africa, correct? And for you to have your foreign products here where people are supporting your business and putting money in your pocket, I think United States needs to take a look at that and treat you like a person who's a threat, because you just finished saying something and trying to make it as a joke. And you know, that goes to show that he doesn't know how to communicate. He doesn't know how to bring something that's serious and something that's ethical and something that's And if I was the government and I heard him saying something like that and making a joke, because you just threatened the vice president and making a joke about it. You see, this is what I'm talking about. People like him and Trump, we have to curb Trump with his mouth, because he's allowing the people that he's doing foreign exchanges with, especially Elon Musk, if he can turn around and make outbursts and say stuff out of context in front of a woman or even an individual that is black, and then he's sitting there mocking individual who still represents this country as the vice president, I think, to me, this is something that they should put as a red flag. How about if he gets deported back to his country and bring all his Tonka trucks and all his little toys and bring it over there? Because I know he couldn't go to South Africa and make remarks like that, especially to the Prime Minister of South Africa, okay? Which is supposed to be his homeland. Even me as American that is born and raised here know that it's not even my duty or even lack of respect to even try to make a joke like that and say it on public television. I would have got community guideline. I would have had my whole entire platform be taken away. But this is what I'm talking about. You know, different strokes for different folks. I think what he's saying, to me, that's not funny and that's not laughable. You literally making a joke like, probably if we try to assault or do something to someone who represents this country, I mean, you guys don't have to like her, okay? But at the end of the day, you're making a joke of somebody's life, you know? And let's say something had happened. We can still make you be accountability for doing that. You see, this has started when Trump did the thing on January the 6th, when he made a rant and a tweet on a comment. Matter of fact, he did it on his platform. And that should have been a red flag to the United States government. But they bypassed it because guess what? Look at the color of their skin. You know, this is not the first time he has said a lot of rants and tweets. I mean, according to his sources of his ex-former co-workers, employees, they said that he used to use the N-word all the time. But I'm seeing how black people in the community are fighting to want to drive his cars and want to put money in his pocket when he's blatantly disrespecting us. And this is not the first time. I'm canceling my Twitter page. I'm not dealing with him. No, I'm not supporting his business. Thank God I don't support his business. And he even forcing people to pay for memberships, whether you have a platform or not. Nah, I'm gonna cancel my membership. Anyway, Twitter is boring.
This video is going to be awkward for some people, but I'm sure you will just pick the goalpost up and move it somewhere else. So let's get it. This video is specifically for all those people that told me on October the 2nd, when I was being critical of Elon Musk's attempt to brand the Starlink product off of the backs of people that had just recently suffered a natural disaster. When Starlink made this offer for those impacted by Hurricane Helene or looking to support response and recovery efforts in affected area, Starlight is now free for 30 days. I said that was branding, and how are people without electricity supposed to use this system? And you all lost y'all's collective mind defending Elon Musk. How do you like me now? Elon Musk Starlink charges Hurricane Helene survivors $400 for free internet service because here's the rub. But people are starting to realize that Elon failed to mention that the survivors of the disastrous storm that claimed the lives of over 200 people will need to fork over $400 for the system's hardware. And then I was critical when you all said that Elon Musk used helicopters to drop some of the Starlink hardware systems into the disaster zone, and said that he said in his post on X that the Starlink terminals will now work automatically without need for payment in the affected areas by Hurricane Helene. So let's talk about this. Assuming someone can get over the one or two, if not more bridges that are down and physically get their hands on the device, you still need electricity to run it. Not to mention that at the time that this took place, over 1 million people were without power. Don't argue with me. Argue with the registry, who pointed out that according to the company, anyone in the disaster hit area who signs up for free internet service will then be automatically moved to the $120 a month residential subscription after the 30-day grace period. And that's on top of having to pay for the equipment. You all are tiresome because you all are stupid by choice. Elon Musk immigrated to this country from South Africa. His family benefited because of apartheid. He knows how to take advantage of a disaster. Stop playing with me.
So this is all I got from this video, and this is self-explanatory. Do I need to expand it? Because we do not even for a minute get a second chance. I have never seen that. And I really do not know why. But other people, they have all the chances. They get all the chances they can. I mean, like when it comes to second chance, third chance, fourth, fifth, 600, 1,000. I mean, they are blessed with that, you know. I remember the period this young lady that raised money for the homeless man. I mean, she raised almost $400,000, right, for the DC homeless man. And to my greatest surprise, I mean, this man is now old. I mean, I don't know from where somebody like, that he has this violence, this, and that was something that happened way, way back. And that was the reason why he did not get a dime from the GoFundMe. And I do not know if majority of you saw that there is this man that was trending all through on TikTok. I think some days back, this Hurricane Hilton, right? The man actually said that he has a boat, and his boat was tied to the riverbank. So people were telling him to leave because hurricane is coming, and he insisted that he was not going to leave, that if anything happens, that is how God will it. And a lot of people tried as much as they can to see what they could do to let him leave. Some also came out to promise him money, some $100,000. People really promised to give him some things, if he survives the hurricane. And eventually he actually survived the hurricane. And I don't know if he got the money or people did donation. I saw people give him GoPro and all that to stream live, to stream why he was during the hurricane and all that. And I think his name is don't worry, I'm going to find his name. So for those that want to look him up, so you all can look him up, you know. So Lieutenant Dan, if you look at it, if you search for his name, Lieutenant Dan, you definitely will see it. A lot of people gave him so many things and all that. And why the whole thing was going on, people also found that he has violence, past violence, you know, profile. But still, people gave him things. People were still able to donate to him and all that. Nobody stops that, you know. Then we'll talk about what happened to Marcellus. I mean, to so many Black people, not just only one, not two, not three, you know. We do not have that second chance opportunity. I have never heard a case that maybe something happened and in the end they were like, oh yeah, because of this or that, let's grant him mercy or let's give him a second chance. It doesn't happen. But for other people, it does. And this video of Elon Musk with Tucker Carlson, what do you expect from two big adults that cannot control their mouth? It's only a very big fool that will face camera and have to say some disgusting thing about somebody on camera. That is to tell you what that person could say or would say without camera. And that also tells you the kind of person that person is. Because I do not see how none of them, like both of them, were all there laughing and like, you know, nobody is cautioning one another. And they're like, take it slow. I mean, pipe low, you know. But he was able to threaten somebody's life on live television, and he is still moving freely. Nobody is cautioning him. Nobody is saying anything to him. That is to tell you the kind of system that, because what do you want to do? He's Elon Musk. And for the, you know, that reminds me what Blackbird said is true. There are so many Black people out there dying to buy Tesla and some of his brands and all that. For what? Anyway, I do not have money to even buy Tesla. So how will I even afford it? But if I have the money, I am buying. I know the people that I am supposed to boycott and the people that I am not supposed to boycott. You know? So it's really crazy. When I say it's really crazy that we do not get that opportunity to opportunity of second chance. And that is how it's been. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.